What's up, guys? This here's Nikolai, and today I just want to give you guys kind of a sit rep on what I've been up to. I just wanted to apologize. I know I haven't posted a video in like freaking 3 weeks, but it's because I've been kind of busy. I've had work going on. I've had my dad's birthday, Father's Day is coming up, my sister's birthday, and my sister's getting married today, actually. So here in about 2-something hours, I have to get ready to go do that. So I've been just kind of busy at a lot on my plate, so I do apologize about that, but I'll try to get some footage out to you guys real soon. However, I wanted to give you guys an idea about what I've also been working on in the meantime. Most of you guys have probably already watched the Space Station 13+FTL project idea video that I've already put out. Well, I've gotten in touch with some coders and a couple of mappers, and we're actually starting to make progress on that. So I just kind of want to give you guys an idea of what we've accomplished so far. Here we are. Now I've zoomed out as much as I physically can so that I can show you guys my ship layout. Now this is just the basic layout. I mean, this is probably going to change a bunch and everything. It's not super important where everything is. It'll probably change, so it's yeah, whatever. Like I said, this is early concept type stuff, but I just kind of want to give you guys a heads up about the basic idea. And what we're doing here is we are trying to take pretty much a giant shuttle and then give it multiple destinations where it can go to. And we're going to code it in a way that to be able to go from one place to another, you're going to have to activate a jump drive, like an FTL drive. And to do that, you're going to have a certain amount of power. You'll have to charge it, which takes a certain amount of time. And that obviously gives the engineers and stuff more things to do, because if you can improve your recharge, obviously you'll be able to charge your batteries, which will then make you able to jump faster and so on and so forth. Same thing with weapons. Obviously weapons will drain power. More power you have, the faster you can fire, or the more damage you'll be able to do, and so on and so forth. That's a big concept of my game mode that I'm trying to come up with, is that everybody has a job to do. You know, the security. The security, obviously, instead of just walking around being shit-curity, just kind of moseying around and questioning people, they'll kind of do that, but they're also going to be kind of the stormtroopers of our ship. There will be times where we engage a enemy pirate ship and our shields fail, and we're going to try to code it that if our shields fail, there is a chance that the enemy can actually I guess you'd say teleport or phase onto our ship, and it'll spawn enemies that will obviously go around and try to kill people, and that's where our security will have to come in. So they will probably be more heavily armed than most stations, but also we're going to be operating with a much smaller amount of crew. It's not going to be something like 60 people. 30 people will probably be a lot for this ship. I'm trying to build it in such a way that it's very compact, kind of claustrophobic, like a submarine. So most like workstations are going to have one, maybe two people. Like science, there's probably going to be one person in Xeno, maybe one or two people doing R&D. There's probably going to be maybe one or two people doing robotics, and so on and so forth. I don't want like huge groups of people in each thing. Like I said, claustrophobia, small, condensed, tiny, and so on and so forth. So, anyways, you guys might be wondering about the design of my ship, and it kind of looks funny, right? I actually drew my idea, or got inspiration for my idea from Halo. Now, most everybody's played Halo, at least the first one, so you guys will probably remember the troop dropship, and it kind of looked like a tuning fork. And what it was the bridge was in the center. Usually the engine was there, and then the arms would spread out off to the sides like a tuning fork, and then they would have obviously the troops on the side, and they would drop out, and so on and so forth. And this is kind of the same idea. All the vital things, like the bridge, the munitions area, the engines, the AI, the captain's quarters, and so on and so forth, are in the center where it needs to be protected. Everything else that's somewhat expendable is on the sides, out in the arms. So I'm sure that later on, once we get this off the ground, I'm sure other people will design other ships and so on and so forth. That'll be up to the community. You guys have already made amazing space stations for SS13 already, so I'm sure that once we get this off the ground, you guys are going to blow my stuff out of the water with your guys' ideas, which I'm ecstatic about. So I'm actually super eager to see what kind of ship designs you guys end up coming up with. But anyways, for the first iteration, this is kind of how it's going to be. One of the things I wanted to go over was the core concept of exactly how we're going to move everything around. I mentioned earlier that we are going to be doing. Where are we at? We're going to be doing it like a shuttle. So let me put this layer on. So for those of you who have messed with the editor, obviously you guys know how these things work. These little areas, like this green area right here, is how you designate a room. And then the power is attached to everything in this room. So there's an APC, and this APC powers everything within this little green area that's called mining for this particular example. Now, I have kind of messed with and tweaked because I've never done anything with the editing before, or excuse me, not the editing, the mapping. I had to literally go on, I loaded up TG Station's map, and literally had to reverse engineer everything. I was like, okay, well this is here, and this is what it does, so obviously if you set this setting in there, then obviously it must do this. I had to literally go in there and figure it out myself. I had nobody to teach me, so, but I think I'm making good progress. I've already gone in, and as you can see, this little area, this is the mining shuttle, this little area with the arrows, with the blue arrows. We've all been on the mining station. You jump on it, there's a little monitor there, you click, and it has an option, hey, would you like to go to the asteroid, or would you like to go to the mining rig thing, or whatever. You click your thing, it then teleports everything within that shuttle designated area. It takes that and ports it, and then it takes it and ports it to what they call a Z level. So it goes from here, which is a stationary position, obviously, ports it to the next stage, or the next Z level, which is moving space. And literally it ports it, and there's the space behind it is moving, giving the idea or the feel that you are flying through space. And then after, let's say, I don't know, 30 seconds, it then ports a third and final time, and then you land at the mining rig, or wherever. My understanding, according to some of the coders and mappers that I've been in touch with, is that technically we can pretty much do not an infinite amount, but a good amount of these locations, and that's what I intend to do. Even possibly maybe make a randomized, similar to FTL. It's not, you might have a somewhat of a choice here and there, but it's kind of randomized where you actually show up. And what we'd do is we'd obviously design, let's say, I don't know, 30 jump areas or 30 Z levels. A couple of them will have a pirate ship, a couple of them will have a derelict floating space station with resources on it, maybe there's an asteroid belt, so on and so forth. So it'll be random, and when you port to it, you just transport the shuttle from point A to point B, and then obviously to point C, which is your final destination. And that's just the basic idea of how we're moving around. There are a couple hurdles that we're having issues with, but I think we feel confident that we can go over it. And I'm not going to go into super detail. I'm just going over basic concepts. But we're making good headway, guys. So just be patient. I'm trying to work on this, like I said, with no background. And I feel like we're just making leaps and bounds, going from nothing to what we have here. Anyways, that is our core concept of how we move. I'm going to go back to our ship now. One of the other things is, most likely we're going to have a thermoelectric engine, or I think they call it a mass crystal. I always forget the name. I need to freaking write that shit down. There's two ones, and I'm still kind of going back and forth, because there's one where there's a crystal that obviously I think it emits radiation or something along those lines. We absorb it, and that's our power source. You can have a chance of cracking that crystal, and then it can explode and do all kinds of stuff like an EMP, wipeout, or it'll literally do like a huge explosion, so on and so forth. That would be interesting. I honestly have no history. I've never interacted with the mass crystal or whatever it's called. I've only seen videos of it, but it seems really, really interesting. It'd be cool to have it where we may be, the captain's like, hey, we need to freaking get the fuck out of here. And they overcharge the FTL drive. They crack the crystal, but they bounce out, and they don't die from the pirate that's beating the shit out of us, right? And we bounce out, we FTL out, and we go to a Z level that's just normal space, nothing special. Well, now we have this cracked crystal, and it's about to explode in like 5 minutes or whatever. We can obviously code that to whatever we want. And then the AI can maybe say, hey, get a hold of the captain, say, this thing's going to explode, we got to eject it. Captain calls it, they eject it, throw the crystal out into space, blows up safely away from us. But now we're free floating through space, and we have to figure out maybe we have to get the engineers out there to get solars going up so we can power the ship enough to jump back home to get another crystal or something like that. I don't know. It just sounds like fun to me. So I'm looking for anybody that has any background with that, with mapping and coding and so on and so forth, specifically for that. If anybody has any information, please contact me. I can use it. I'm also toying with the idea of a thermoelectric engine where, I mean, almost everybody knows how to do that. You use plasma and a couple other ingredients and stuff. You pretty much super cool the I can't remember what's in the tubes. I'm kind of tired. I got up early this morning to get ready for the wedding. You super cool whatever liquid, and it gets cold, and you superheat using plasma and fire, obviously. You superheat the other liquid, and when you combine them, it causes a chain reaction, and that's how you get your fuel, or excuse me, that's how you get your power, and so on and so forth. And that's kind of a cool concept because then you would have to constantly balance your amount of plasma. You have to get more plasma, aka fuel. So I don't know. We're kind of playing with that idea. I will get back to you guys on that one. The oh, that's right. Sorry, I almost forgot. For this particular game mode, I've made a additional job. I'm going to probably cut the non-essential jobs. I know some people like to play as the mime and shit like that, like the clown. I don't know. I don't mean to bag on you guys, but you're not going to be in this. This is going to be for essential personnel only. We don't have a room for that. Everybody needs to have a job. Everybody needs to produce or help out on the ship. That's the whole aim, is that everybody is a team. Everybody's working together. You know, research and development is constantly trying to get better equipment and stuff so that way we can jump further, get better signals and so on and so forth. Medical's trying to keep us alive. Security is trying to keep the freaking borders from killing us. Engineers are constantly trying to improve our energy outputs. You know, robotics are doing all that stuff. I mean, robots help with everything. We have... you know, herbology, I can't think of the other word right now, but, you know, they're growing food. You know, everybody has a job. That's the main focus. Instead of everybody just running around doing whatever the hell they want to and just kind of, there's no end game, you know. Anyways, back to what I was getting at. We have invented a new job that is closely tied to cargo, and it's called Munitions. Now, here, I'll try to zoom in a little bit to give you guys a better idea. So let me go zoom in there. Okay. Let me get up to the right place. So obviously you can see that I'm still working on the map. It takes a long time. You kind of have to do it layer by layer. This will eventually be the cargo area, and there will be a door with an airlock and so on and so forth. So that way when we dock, we can obviously bring resources on or take resources off. That way we can sell it and make money and so on and so forth. Cargo is right here, and this will be closely tied into munitions, which is directly across the way here. They have these big, huge freaking like security doors, obviously, because we don't want people screwing around with munitions. Because another concept from Halo that I'm taking is the Mac cannon, which takes these huge fucking rounds and pretty much uses a mass accelerator to eject them at a target in space. And what would be the idea would be the lasers that we have would pummel the enemy shields down to the point where there's no shields, and then we'd hopefully hit them with a Mac round and take out that target. And that's where this comes in. We'll probably have... I think I'm going to have like a head of this department. There's probably going to be a munitions officer, and then there's probably be munitions techs or cargo techs or something along those lines. And you can see here I got a conveyor belt that I put together. You'll be able to load the rounds, and I've talked to some of the coders and mappers that have been working with the project, and we kind of have an idea of, instead of just having to push the round into this little mass accelerator and eject it and out, we're thinking that you'll have to do a process like, I don't know, take a screwdriver, open up the round, set a primer or set a timer or something along those lines, close it up, pull the pin maybe like a grenade or something, set it and eject it, something like that. So that way there's some interaction, but we're still kind of, I don't know, we'll have to play test that and see how that goes. There's a lot of danger there because if you fuck that up and you don't get the round out and there's a timer of 25 seconds and, I don't know, you get shot in the back by an invader, and then the round detonates and blows up the munitions area and then sets off the other rounds. I mean, I don't know. That still sounds cool to me, but I don't know. That might be overpowered and people might use it to grief. But like I said, this is early concepts. We'll make changes and so on and so forth. So I really would like your guys' comments and everything. But anyways, that's pretty much the basics that we wanted to go over today. Like I said, I have to get ready for a wedding here in 2 hours, so I gotta bounce and go get dressed and everything. I just want to get some information out there, let you guys know I'm not fucking dead, lying, in a gutter somewhere with flies gathering around my body. I am alive. I've just been kind of busy. I'm gonna try to get some videos out to you guys real soon here. Maybe do a Space Station 13 event or something, get everybody together, get the community playing and everything. Again, I wanted to touch base on the fact that I am looking for coders and mappers who have experience with doing this. It's not necessary that you have experience, but it's preferred. Please contact me. I have my Steam account is linked in the description down below. Hit me up on there. Add me on Steam. Just send me a message. Hey, I am such and such. I'm a mapper. I can help you with this and so on and so forth. And I will obviously put you in the right subgrouping in my friends. That's how we communicate. And then we'll get you guys on my GitHub account and everything so we can all work on the project. I just want to say thanks, guys. I really appreciate all your guys' support and everything. Anyways, like I said, I got to bounce. I got a wedding to be to, and I don't want to be late. So you guys have a good one. I'll catch you in the next video, all right?